Oh well, it is what it is. Check, check, test, 1, 2. Check, check, test, 1, 2. Now I'm centered. Oh, here comes a butterfly. It's bright out here, and it sure is hot now, isn't it? Like this, going glass, 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 glass. JonnyPink. I started this one different. I started this one recording. I was shooting in Pine Mountain Club, which is out near Fraser Park. It's way up in the mountains. And I was shooting the R8. I no longer have that with me. So I want to redo the video that I did while I was out there. No matter what you're shooting, it's about glass, 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 glass. If you're brand new to photography, awesome. If you have any questions, leave comments down below. I'm sure lots of people will give you tips, and or my email address is down below too if you wanted to email me. If you don't want to spend a lot of money buying a camera and you're not really sure, I've got rental links down below. I get a couple of points for it. I'm not an affiliate. It's not my company. And the reason I do that is it allows you to try renting stuff. I rent stuff all the time. This gear that you see here, this happens to be mine because I spend money like I've got it, and I don't. It is, and it's okay, man. So again, let me show you some handheld video, a bunch of photos, and the reason I'm redoing this is I was using my mic and my setup. The little windscreen wouldn't stay on, so I put it in my pocket, and I always bump into that stuff, and I hope that I'm not at the moment because it is down kind of low right now. Glass, glass, glass. It's all about the glass, 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 glass. Check these out. Okay, glass. Why the glass? Well, why do you spend so much on a lens? Different lenses have different advantages. This big behemoth right here, this is huge. This is Canon's 600 f4. This is EF version 3, and I got this specifically, I think so that I can use this on my M50. I think that's why I got this one over the RF version. And when the RF version comes out, I'll probably trade this one and get the latest RF version. This is Canon's 200 to 800, their newest one in the affordable lineup. It's a fantastic lens. It's not an L lens. This is Canon's 100 to 500, and this I have on the R7. I love this setup. I think for wildlife, other than the rolling shutter, this is probably one of my favorites. It allows you 800 millimeters of reach on a crop sensor body, because this is Canon's R7, so you have that 1.6 times crop. 500 millimeters gives me 800 millimeters. This one, when the 600 f4 with the 1.4 extender on there that I've got, and I put it on the R3, I have 840 millimeters of reach. This is an f10, this becomes an f5.6. There's a big difference. There's also a big difference in price. This is, I think, $2,600. This is $13,000. Most people are never going to spend that on a lens, and I completely understand. I went so deep into debt to get it. I traded a bunch of old stuff that I had to, that I didn't need. I just took a loss on it, because if it's sitting in a bag collecting dust, to me, it does absolutely no good, but somebody else can use it, and I get credit towards something else. So I do that a lot, and I just kind of take the loss and look at it as a long rental. And this, as soon as it came out, as soon as it went on the market, I was sitting there at my computer, and I hit order, buy it now. And so I have it. I was one of the few fortunate ones that got it relatively quick. It's a fantastic lens, and I do like it. I loved it on the R5. I loved it on the R3. I was shooting it on the R8, which is a rented camera body. The R8 does not have in-body image stabilization, IBIS, so I was relying on the stabilization in the lenses for all of my hand-holding video. And if you've ever tried to hold video at 800 millimeters, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm really impressed with the stabilization that we have. And people talk about not having IBIS as a huge deal. Well, it is, but it isn't, because the image stabilization in these lenses is so good. Yeah, it's better with IBIS, of course. Now, the Canon R8, which is their full frame, not like their, I think it's the R10, but the R8 is a fantastic camera, and I have an R6 II coming as a rental, I think, later this week. I'll be shooting that for 4 days as well, hopefully not gobs and gobs of video. What I'm shooting on right now is Canon's R50, and I love this camera, especially for video. It is just absolutely phenomenal. So on the R50, I think I shot the 200 to 800 and the 100 to 500, which is pretty much like the R7, but the R7 does have IBIS. And I have a bit more control. This is more like a pro-level camera, entry-level pro-level camera, whereas the R50 is just an entry-level camera, and the R8 is an entry-level camera. If you get the best of the best, and right now the best that Canon has is the R3, okay? Or if you go with Nikon and you get one of their newest lenses, let's say you buy the Z9, but you put an old, and I'm talking older, Tamron lens on there, or a Sigma lens because it's what you have, you're going to get some great photos, and most of it is going to work. But you're going to get better photos with one of the newer Z lenses, or even one of the native Nikon lenses. With Canon, it is no different. Yes, my EF lenses work fantastic, which is why I use my 600 f4. It's version 3. My version 1 of the 500 f4 worked fantastic too. Those pro-level lenses still work on the new bodies for Canon. I'm talking Canon because that's what I am most familiar with. I'm a Canon fanboy. It works for me. Glass, glass, glass. So if you've been watching and listening to me talk, my TED Talk, my name's not Ted, this is a JP Talk. I was fortunate enough to shoot the Swallowtails. Man, they were fantastic. I got a lot of handheld video with that. And I was using Canon's R8, an entry-level full-frame camera. Fantastic camera. Another thing I want to say about Canon is I have been so impressed with their eye autofocus tracking, even on the R50 that I'm filming on right now. Was it all perfect? Well, no. Is there any camera setup and body setup that's perfect? No. There's none of them. This one is great for birds at a distance, and you have that zoom, which is really, really cool. So if I've got a little critter up close to me, I can zoom out and shoot it. This one just has an amazing bokeh, but I have to stand way back and I become the zoom, whereas this one is pretty much an all-arounder. Yeah, I'm shooting at f10, but with the new software that we have these days, is it that big a deal? No, it's not at all, man. It cleans up so nice. The other advantage, I think, to having an f10 when I have the 1.4 extender on there is a deeper depth of field. As you start getting farther and farther out, if you're shooting astrophotography, you want to let in as much light as you can. So you're shooting at an f1.8 or f2.8 or whatever the lens is that you're using, f6. It's so far away that everything is in focus. With wildlife, as you start getting out farther and farther, that depth of field perceptibly gets shorter and shorter, so you still get some beautiful bokeh, even at an f10 or at an f9. That's one of the advantages, I think, to wildlife. And for me, yes, I do have a 2x extender for this, which puts me at 1200 millimeters. And I could put an extender on this, giving me more reach, or I could put this on the R7 or the R50, and I don't really care for that. I don't care for this lens on a crop sensor body. Everybody's different, and you're going to have your own, you will have your very own style of shooting, something that works for you. And if somebody tells you this is the best way to do it, no, this is a suggested way to do it. You do it your way. Develop something that works for you. You have to go out and you have fun. You have to go out and just enjoy the learning process. If you're shooting in auto. These cameras are really good. I don't shoot anything in auto. Everything is shot in manual. I do use auto ISO. I let the camera decide that. So even shooting at, say, I think I was shooting at 25,000 ISO, they cleaned up really, really nice with the new software that we have. And I'm not talking the third-party software. I use Adobe Lightroom Classic. It is my favorite. And it cleans up so nice. Before that, I would do it with masks. You'd mask off and pull down, and then you'd mask off and pull all the noise down, and then you'd do for a global for the color. And it was a lot of work. This makes it so much easier. We are truly fortunate as this software increases in what we can do. Now, I know this one's a lot longer than some of my other ones, and I apologize, but I had so many amazing photos, what I think are amazing. Hopefully you do as well. I wanted to share them and just kind of share some knowledge. It's all about the glass. If you get an inexpensive camera body and you buy the best glass you can possibly get, you'll get some great results. If you buy the best camera body and a crap lens, you're going to get crap results. It's a learning process all the way through, but these cameras and the any of the camera bodies, the technology inside them makes it a lot easier than it used to be. JonnyPink, I want to say thank you again to you for letting me share. If you have questions, leave them down below. I love the comments. I do my very best to get to them every single day, but I'm doing so many other things, working on a new album, work, all this other stuff. I do my best to stay on top of it, and I will get back to you. Again, my email is down below. If you want to email me with a question, I will get back to you. I don't always do it right away, and I apologize if I don't, but I do get back to people. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you for letting me share with you. I do this because I truly, truly enjoy it, and I hope my passion comes through with it. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you hated it, then go ahead and give it the thumbs down. It only hurts my feelings a little bit. Actually, it doesn't. I think I have a pretty thick skin. I've been called clueless. My photos are terrible. They're mediocre. And I'm okay with all of it, man. It's my style, and it makes me happy. So to be able to share with you, man, thank you. It means the whole world to me. Again, I cannot stress it enough. Glass, 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 glass. Have a fantastic day out there, whatever it is you're going to do. And if you do see me out there, please, please, please come up and say hi. It means the world to me. It really does. And that I get to share with you, man, it's fantastic. Thank you. We'll see you guys. And just as a side note, I know I've had some comments about the alcohol. I'm in my own home. It's evening. And I enjoy a glass of scotch, sometimes a glass of cheap tequila. I know I don't need it, but I do enjoy it. And life is short, man. Live it as hard as you can. This makes me happy. Not as happy as being able to share with you guys. So again, thank you. Give it a thumbs up.